Hello everyone, my name is Dane and welcome back to Get to the Chapter VR. Now I know a lot of the VR community have been screaming out for HOTAS support for No Man's Sky ever since the big VR update of No Man's Sky Beyond was released a few months ago, and whilst Hello Games have not added any official HOTAS support, what I am going to share with you today is a piece of kit that is essentially the next best thing. Now, what I'm going to show off today and give you my review of is a brand new product from Protube VR, who, if you haven't heard of them before, are a company that produce a variety of different physical accessories specifically designed to enhance players' experience when playing virtual reality games. And I will put a link to their store in the description below for you to take a look at yourself, as there's some really cool stuff that is worth checking out. Now, the product I'm going to look at today was sent to me by Protube VR to allow me to carry out this review. God knows what my postman must think. So I want to say a huge thank you to them for doing so, but also I want to assure you that this will have no impact on my opinion of their product or my review. Okay, so the product in question is called the ProTas VR, and this is effectively a mount for a VR controller, in my case a PSVR Move controller, that will hold the controller in place and allow it to be used as a flight stick when piloting aircrafts in game, much like a HOTAS does. This has been designed primarily for No Man's Sky, and so that is what I have tested this out on, but will of course work with any VR game that requires you to manage flight navigation by holding a virtual flight stick. So straight out of the box, you will get the base unit, a magnetic support cup, 2 straps and 2 Allen keys, and it will pretty much be ready to go straight away with minimal effort. The magnetic support cup literally snaps into place against the magnet on the base, and then the only adjustment you might like to make is the angle in which the cup sits against the base, and this can be done by simply loosening the bolt with the supplied Allen key, moving the cup's position and retightening the bolts. But you will probably want to wait until you have the base unit secured in place where you're going to be playing before you do this, just to make sure that it is in the most comfortable and natural position for when you are playing. Now, to secure the base, you have 2 options available to you, as you can use the supply straps to secure it to the arm of your gaming chair if you have one, or you can use the adhesive on the bottom of the base to stick it to your desk or any secure hard surface that you can have next to you when playing. Personally, I don't have a gaming chair myself, and I don't even have a desk for where I am playing, so I simply used a fold-out coffee table that I popped next to me for my play session, and this worked absolutely fine. First off, the adhesive is very sticky and keeps the whole unit in place perfectly, even with heavy use, and surprisingly, when I removed it, it doesn't leave any kind of residue or marks behind afterwards. As with any adhesive, however, you are going to want to avoid sticking down and removing all the time, as it will start to lose its stickiness, so look for a location where it can remain without needing to be removed. When working out the best location for the base to be affixed, I found for myself the best way to do it was to get myself comfortable where I was going to sit, load up the game, and then jump into a spaceship and see where my hands, and ergo my controllers, would need to be in line with the flight stick. It was then just a case of pulling the headset away from my face slightly to be able to align the base unit with the controller to where the flight stick was in game. This actually only took a few seconds to get right, and whilst I couldn't align the 2 together perfectly, they were close enough together that when I pressed the trigger to grab the flight stick in game, I was able to achieve a 1-to-1 mapping just by clicking the trigger once or twice to effectively recenter the controller on the stick. Of course, you can also play about with the options button to maneuver the tracking and fine-tune this if it is required. Once you are locked in and set up, I have to say using the ProTas is so much more comfortable and makes piloting your ship a lot easier to do than when you're trying to do it without one, when you just got the moves and you're trying to hold them in place floating in midair. And piloting the ship feels great, and despite the fact that personally I am a terrible pilot,
My Emperor! I failed the barrel roll!
with the ProTas, the handling works really well, and after adjusting the in-game sensitivity settings, the game was responding exactly as I would expect it to, and it really did add a lot to the immersion of piloting these cool spacecrafts in the No Man's Sky universe. Now, you might be wondering how you go about switching between using the ProTas for flight and using the Move controller freely when on land, and I have to say the magnetic cup clips on the base and the cup make this really easy to do, as you will simply need to twist the controller and cup slightly to detach this from the base and away you go. It might take a little getting used to how hard and how much you need to twist to separate the 2 magnets, as they are by design very strong, but after a few tries you will have it down and be pulling this off no problem. As for reconnecting the cup to the base, this is even easier, as without even looking, you'll be able to move the controller around in the general area and the magnets will do the rest, reconnecting nicely without any fuss. Now, whilst this magnetic cup approach allows quick and easy switching back and forth, do note that this will mean that your Move controller will be within the cup holder the entire time. And whilst this doesn't add any substantial weight and in my opinion doesn't make holding the controller any less comfortable, it is just something to be aware of. From a durability standpoint, I don't think you will come across any issues, as all the components are solid and stood up to me pushing and pulling pretty damn hard, and there was no loosening of any bolts or impact from doing so. This also looks pretty good as well and doesn't feel or look cheaply made, apart from under close scrutiny where you might see some slight bubbles of plastic on one of the joints, but that is a slight niggle that doesn't really detract from the overall look and feel of the product, and also it might just likely be something that is with my own unit and not something that will be seen in other units that are dispatched out to other people. So to summarise my thoughts on this, like any gaming accessory, this is really going to appeal to a niche set of players, and is definitely not something for everyone. But for those that are massive No Man's Sky players, and those that have been longing for HOTAS support that may not come, this is a great alternative, and at around €50 this comes in at around half the price of a full HOTAS kit. Now, personally for me, I think this price is too high for the mileage I would personally get out of this. But for context, I also find HOTAS and steering wheel peripheral accessories far too expensive as well. But enthusiasts are happy to pay those prices to get that added level of comfort and immersion, and the ProTas does offer that, albeit for a smaller range of content. However, that being said, with this product on the market, you may start to see new games being developed with this in mind, so depending on what games you tend to play, this could be a great alternative to a HOTAS for right now, and also something that will gain more mileage from going forward with future titles. And that pretty much wraps up my review for the ProTas, but keep your eyes peeled on the channel as I also have another product review coming up from Protube VR with the ProSaber peripheral, which I am super excited to get to grips with and share with you, as it essentially allows you to turn into Darth Maul when playing Beat Saber. So if you did find this video useful, please park your hot ass on that like button, did you see what I did there? And consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to catch all my future videos with product reviews, gameplay videos, live streams and general fun videos as I continue to explore the world of virtual reality. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about this product or anything about PSVR in general, then please drop a comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. I hope you'll have a bloody awesome day, and I will catch you in the next video.